We've all played a board game with someone that drives you crazy because of how they act during a game, how they treat other players or disrespect your components. So today, I'm going to establish a list of board game etiquette. 50 rules that I try to abide by and hope the people I play with follow as well. But rule 0 is etiquette isn't to be policed. I would never tell someone off for not behaving. I'm not their parents. I just might avoid playing with them in the future. Etiquette is about self-improvement. Set a good example. Treat others as you would like to be treated. But the great thing about this video is that you can send it to someone who breaks one of these rules and pretend you're sending it to them because it's entertaining, but really you're trying to secretly tell them to stop bending your cards. Allow drinks at the table. There's more to life than protecting your board games from accidental damage, such as water, the one substance we all need to survive. Let your guests drink. I've played over 4,000 games and I've only had a drink ruin a game once. It's not worth spoiling the comfort of your game night and dehydrating your friends to protect some bits of cardboard. Friends first, game second. If you really can't bring yourself to allow it, one of my Discord members serves drinks in sippy cups. Now, I wouldn't want to be treated like a child every Thursday, but maybe your friends are down with it. Allow snacks at the table. This is the most divisive etiquette issue of them all, but I'm taking a side. To me, it's not a proper game night without some snacks. Don't take more care over your game than your guests. We play for hours, we need to eat. You can be strategic with mess-free snacks like grapes, carrot sticks, or M&Ms, but personally, life's too short to let my games dictate my diet. Nuts, crisps, nachos are all welcome at my table. I'd rather risk losing a game to guacamole than losing a friend because of my pathetic snaction. But don't get food on the game. Treat someone else's game like you would their baby. Don't wipe your greasy fingers on it. Use a napkin or your clothes. You can wash your jeans. I can't wash my games. Although one guy did try once with his pint of beer. If you spill a drink on a game, you should offer to buy them a new copy. But that means you get to keep the damaged copy. So only spill drinks over games you like. Don't riffle shuffle someone else's cards. There's no question that doing this is the only time that board gamers look cool. It feels like you're about to bluff a French diplomat out of €1,000,000 instead of picking the cutest sushi card. And it's proven to be the best method to randomize a deck, but it's terrible for the card, so don't inflict it on someone else's deck without their permission. I riffle shuffle all my cards, and I guess that makes me cool. Shuffle fast, die young, I say. Look, you can smoke cigarettes all you want, just don't blow it in your friends' faces. It's not their fault they're not as cool as you. When you win a game, your response should be measured. This is how a polite person reacts to winning a game. And the winner, with 140 points, is Chris. You're allowed to be happier, but by an infinitesimal amount. Imagine you've just found a jigsaw piece that you didn't know was missing. It's a surprise. You can't act like this is a regular occurrence, even if you do win every game. It's like you've just been told there's going to be another Marvel movie. It's news to you, but it doesn't advance your heart rate. You're pleased. It would be rude to the losers not to be pleased. But you're not pleased. That would be unbecoming and gauche. You should react like a teenage goth who has just been told that their dad has come out of his coma. It's as much to preserve your dignity as theirs. What would it say about you that you care about winning a game? And the winner is Chris with 140 points. Yes! You react like that and the world sees a petty individual who straps every win to their broken self-esteem like a splint. You could be the richest person in the world, have won the Nobel Prize, but your game group would think you're pathetic. But if you win as a team, you can go nuts. Like if your side wins in a hidden traitor game, you can shout, high-five each other, pour your drink over the game, then immediately pay them for it. You get a free pass because it's not about your ego. It's about friends coming together to destroy other friends. And if you win against a co-op game, you can go even louder. You have defeated an actual AI. It's humans 1, robots 0. Take your algorithms and stick them up your ass because your lot just got beat by a bunch of mortals. Don't cheat. There is nothing more disrespectful than cheating. I'd rather you smeared mayonnaise over the board. And it's pointless. You can't win a game by breaking its rules. That's all a game is. The host of the game night picks the games. If you're coming to my house for dinner, you don't get to tell me what food I'm serving. The same goes for games. I've organised the night. I've tidied my living room to a level that's better than usual, but not as good as if I was hosting a dinner party. So I pick the games. If I've cooked lasagna and you rock up with a curry and you're trying to convince my other guests to eat that instead, not cool. That's not to say you can't bring a side dish to contribute, but expect it to go uneaten. Bring snacks, not games. But with great power comes great responsibility. You have to cater the games to your guests. You don't serve steak to vegetarians, and you shouldn't make people play games they wouldn't like. I know it's been on your shelf for ages. I know you're really excited to play it, but we're all here to have a good time, not just you. Friends first, game second. If you know Ben doesn't like aggressive games, and Anna doesn't like cooperative games, and Tom won't play bluffing games, a good host will find something they can all enjoy, and vow to never invite such a picky bunch ever again. If it's your game, you teach the rules, and if it's longer than a few pages, you should have read them before you came. Listen to the rules. Please, I'm begging you, pay attention when you're being taught the rules. It's like everyone reverts to being back at school and I have to play teacher. Wilcox, stop looking out the window. Broomfield, no phones. Mr. Hazelhurst, would you kindly stop flirting with Mr. Butler? This is for your benefit. I can wait all day. But sir, this is boring. What's the point? If you all just focus and learn this bit, then we can get to the fun stuff. Ugh, fine. I don't mind people asking questions. At least that shows they're trying to learn. But when you interrupt to make a joke, I swear it takes a year off my life. We're all waiting to get on this fun roller coaster, and you keep walking us back to the front of the queue. Never say, let's just start and we'll pick it up as we go. This is like asking to get out on the road before I teach you how to drive. All that's going to happen is you stop in the middle of the street to ask me questions because you don't know what you're doing. If you aren't available for 6 months, the legacy game can carry on without you. We all start a legacy campaign with the intention of getting to the end, but life gets in the way, people move house, have kids, go to prison. You can't expect them to wait for you forever. You're not Ryan Gosling, and this isn't The Notebook. It's heartbreaking to let it go, but if you love your group, set them free. They haven't forgotten you. Your name is still written on their board, haunting your replacement like Rebecca de Winter, but legacy games have to end because they already bought the sequel. Don't take ages on your turn. If you're taking twice as long as everyone else every turn, it's a problem. A game is something that we share, and you're taking more of it than us. I haven't got the fastest brain, and sometimes I get locked up trying to take the perfect turn, but it's not worth it. I'd rather make a weak move than bore everyone else. Friends first, game second. But don't rush players, it's annoying, and it just makes it worse because you break their train of thought, meaning they'll now take even longer. You're the guy in traffic who keeps speeding up, then braking suddenly, which creates more traffic than just driving normally. And the absolute worst is when someone rushes everyone else, then takes ages themselves. Classic main character syndrome. If someone's taken your color of pieces, get over it. We don't care if yellow is the color of your cat or the banana that saved your life, it's been taken. You may be surprised to learn that of the 7 colors of the rainbow, other people in the world have the same favorite as you. Yes, it will be harder for you to remember which your pieces are, but so would it for them if you were yellow instead. Unless you can trump them by being colorblind, you've lost. If you're late to game night, they can start without you. I can't hate late people because my therapist tells me to love myself. But if we've got any hope of getting through my ambitious stack of games, we can't wait for you to start. But I'm nice, so we'll play a filler until you arrive. Get off your phone. Every time you look at your phone, you're telling the room that what's happening on that device is more important to you than them. And sometimes it is. If you need to reply to a message from your family, that's fine. But when I see people scrolling Twitter during a game, why are you here? I can look at my phone any hour of the day, but game night is precious time. Take it from someone who knows. These friends won't be around forever. And no, not because they're going to die, but worse, they're going to move away. And then you'll only be able to play against them on your phone. So make the most of your active game group while you still have it. Think of a funny caption for your Instagram post tomorrow when you're at work. Don't tell people what to do on their turns. No one likes a game-splainer. The crucial joy of board games is that I'm the one making the decisions. I don't want your advice, no matter how good you are at this game.
You should go to Madrid, unless you want an outbreak.
Oh, well, if we're giving each other advice, you should lower your expectations on dating apps or you'll never meet anyone. And especially in co-op games, we're your teammates, not puppets to do your bidding. If you like your strategy that much, you should go play with yourself. No, wait, let's sing that.
'Cause if you like your strategy that much, oh buddy, you should go play with yourself. And if you think that I should have quarantined Cocada, you should keep it to yourself.
I would like to win this game, you know, and I've played it a few times before, and I think I know how to win a game like this. Now you don't have any idea how to win this game. You're an idiot. But I went to Oxford, okay? I went to Oxford. I know how to win this game.
Don't complain that you're losing. Someone has to lose, why shouldn't it be you? And if you go on to win the game after complaining about losing, your win shouldn't count. You should allow takebacks, occasionally. Go easy on each other. If nothing important has changed, then let someone fix a mistake they made, especially if it's their first game. It's miserable being militant about it. This isn't tournament play. But don't take the piss. You can't keep taking back your turn whenever it suits you. If the teacher misses a rule, cut them some slack. Yes, it's annoying that you've been playing the game wrong, but we all make mistakes. They didn't mean to do it. Oh, here we go. Classic John. You make up rules whenever it suits you.
Well, I based my whole strategy around that, so thanks.
You teach the games then. I forgot one rule. One. How many rules did you teach us, Stuart? You can't even teach yourself to comb your hair. And you ate all the cashew nuts. You should always play to win. A game only works if we're all trying to win. And if you ignore that and self-sabotage just to sow chaos, it breaks the game for everyone else. But to quote the great Reiner Knizia, the goal is to win, but it's the goal that's important, not the winning. Winning doesn't matter. What matters is having fun. And if you care too much about winning, no one will have fun. Don't lose sight of what matters. I've played with too many people that are friendly and lovely outside of a game, then once we're playing, lose sight of normal social behavior. Don't lose your temper. Don't start arguments over rules. Don't accuse people of cheating. Don't treat your friends like enemies. This video is not sponsored, but I do want to thank my patrons who allow me to make unusual videos like this one, and who helped me come up with some of the rules in this list. If you've enjoyed my recent videos, please consider becoming a patron. It would be impolite not to. If everyone's hating it, stop playing the game. Life's too short and game night's even shorter. Get a divorce while you're young and you'll still have time to fall in love with another better game. If someone is talking about a game they love, don't immediately say that you hate it. We played Pandemic yesterday. It was so much fun. We were one turn away from winning and then had our last outbreak.
I hate Pandemic. It is such a bad game.
Okay. When a game is mentioned, I see people bubbling up inside, desperate to release their opinion before it gives them a hernia. The world doesn't need to know that you hate a game, especially if it means yucking someone's yum.
Are you eating Marmite? That is disgusting.
It's hard to recover a conversation after dropping a bomb of negativity like that. I'm not going to be enthusiastic about another game in front of you because you just made me feel stupid for liking that one. Instead of focusing on our differences, find some common ground. Tell me about other co-op games you like. Don't throw a tantrum in a hidden traitor game. Social deduction games like Werewolf and Avalon can get heated, but don't take your emotions beyond what's acceptable in a social setting, because that's still where you are. If you start screaming and swearing because someone won't believe you, you're taking it too personally, and you shouldn't play those games. And if you fake that level of emotion to try and guilt someone into trusting you, you're taking advantage of someone's decency to try and win a game. Don't be snobby about games you don't like. Liking certain games does not make you better than someone else. If the games you play are more complicated, with deeper strategy or less luck, that doesn't make you a better person than someone who only plays Exploding Kittens or Sushi Go. They aren't less intelligent, they don't have less fun, they aren't any less of a gamer than you. It can be hard to understand why people enjoy certain games when you hate them so much. I can't understand why people eat oysters, but I don't think I'm better than them because of it. The people that eat them, I am better than oysters. The type of games you play will never make you better than anyone else, but not being a condescending snob will. If you're going to be late, be honest about how late, because we need to know how long we got to wait. This isn't your job. You don't need to pretend you're going to arrive in 10 minutes when you clearly just left and you live half an hour away, because that's long enough to play a proper card game. If we believe that you'll be here in 10 minutes, we'll just chat and wait, and then 30 minutes later be annoyed that we could have played something. It's okay to make fun of people who sleeve cards. Call them card condoms. Take one of the cards out and pretend to eat it. They can protect their cards, but not their dignity. Don't whine about being attacked in a game. Why are you attacking me? Because we're playing Risk. That's the point of the game. And especially don't do it to try and change their mind. Why me? Why can't you attack Stuart? Why? Because he won't whine at me. Don't rate a game on Board Game Geek that you haven't played. War and Peace is all over the place. It's like, make your mind up. Which is it? War or peace? You can't have both. They're opposites. 1 out of 10. Is a review I will never post on the internet because I haven't played that video game. Board Game Geek is a really useful resource. If you're in a shop and you see a game you've never heard of, you can quickly check the rating as a rough barometer of whether it's worth considering. But it only works if the hive mind takes it seriously. If 20 people have given it a 1 because the Kickstarter shipping was too pricey, it throws off the score. And don't give it a 10 because you're excited about it either. You don't know what a game is like until you play it. You're not Nostradamus. The teacher should remind you of the rules throughout the game. We're not being tested on our memory, so make sure everyone still knows how the game works, or it isn't a level playing field. If someone wins every game, it's okay to hate them a little. You're not made of stone. Losing every game to a t-shirt wearing polymath is enough to make anyone a little bit angry. Keep it inside, let it fuel you. Eat the last chocolate-covered pretzel. It's all you can do within the confines of common decency. Know that there are hundreds of us like you out there. And if you got to play against one of them, you'd probably win. Don't say a game is broken after playing it once. You can think a game is terrible, never want to play it again. But the idea that you found a fatal flaw is the height of arrogance. Someone spent months working on this game. Designers, developers, playtesters. And you think in playing it for an hour, you found something that they all missed. And it's always said with the smugness of someone who thinks they discovered penicillin. It's like believing in conspiracy theories. You get to convince yourself that you're better than someone else without any work or intelligence required. Thematic soundtracks are only fun for a bit. After 3 hours of listening to the Game of Thrones soundtrack on repeat, it gets a bit much, and we'd rather be backstabbing each other to some Taylor Swift. Warn others about difficult gamers. If you've had a miserable time playing with someone, warn other people about them. You can save a friend from having the same experience. Don't brag about your partner being good at board games. I said partner because I want to be inclusive, but it's only men that do this about their wives or girlfriends. I've had this said to me by a popular game designer.
My wife beats me at games all the time, even my own games, even really heavy games.
Why are you bragging about your wife like she's a medal that you won? If she's winning games, that's not your accolade. You don't own her. But really, the only reason you're mentioning it is because you think it's unusual that typically women don't win games, but your wife is different.
My wife isn't like other wives. She plays board games and wins them.
You're othering your wife, and all women, by talking about them in a way that you never would about a male friend.
Ben is actually really good at board games. He can even do well against me in games with lots of rules.
I'm not saying you can't talk about your partner beating you in games. People say that sort of thing all the time. Just don't turn it into a weird sexist brag. If your new game arrives with a dent, live with it. Most board game publishers are small companies, and if you ask for a replacement box, they have to send you a whole new game, so they make no money on your sale. If you return it to Amazon, it will probably end up in a landfill. The game inside is what you paid for. The box is a receptacle, not a work of art to preserve. And if you do want to guarantee your game is in a pristine condition, then buy it in person from a local game store. Don't look up strategy tips on the sly. I agreed to play against you, not some random person on Board Game Geek. We're all learning and exploring this game together, so why should you have a secret advantage? Yes, you should try to win, but on your merits, not by taking performance-enhancing drugs. Be realistic about a game's length. If someone asks you how long it will take, be honest. Don't lie just to get the game played. It's like using someone else's photo on a dating app. They're gonna find out eventually, and it's not gonna be a good look for you or them. And don't lie to yourself. You can't get a game of Twilight Imperium finished in one evening. A problem known as the Twilight struggle, confusingly. Don't read all the story bits yourself. You're not a voice actor. If you're playing a narrative game, don't hog the storybook. Let everyone take turns reading from it. And please don't put on voices for the characters unless you're a professional. This isn't bedtime and I'm not your child. If I was, I'd ask for audiobooks. I would never punish my friends by doing voices. It's how I punish my YouTube viewers. It's polite to narrate what you're doing on your turn. It keeps everyone invested and helps them follow what's happening. And make it clear when your turn is over, so we don't waste 3 minutes sitting around until someone says, whose turn is it? You don't have to paint your miniatures. Go for a hike, teach yourself to knit, read the works of Shakespeare, because you don't need to spend your time painting minis. This isn't Warhammer, we won't think any less of you. But if you do like painting, please offer to paint mine. Don't introduce house rules. 99% of the time, you don't know better than the designer. I don't want to play your version of the game, just like I wouldn't want to get in an aeroplane that you've taken bits out of. If you borrow a game, you've got 3 months to play it. And if you haven't played it by then, tough, it's time to give it back. Yes, when it goes back on my shelf, I might not play it for another year, but it left a gap in my Kallax and messed up my color scheme. I haven't been able to post a shelfie to Instagram in 3 months. And there was one game night where it was on a shortlist of 20 games we could have played, but we couldn't because you had it. Don't brag about your kids playing difficult games. If your 6-year-old is playing games meant for adults, that's exciting for you. When you start telling other people, it sounds like bragging, that your kid is smarter than others. Oh, your kid is still playing Rhino Hero. Ours just finished a solo campaign of Gloomhaven. Don't be a kingmaker. So you've realized you can't win, but you can control who does win. That doesn't mean you should. Your goal hasn't changed. You should make the best move for yourself. If you ignore that just to sabotage someone else's victory, you've killed the game, and it makes you look like you've thrown your toys out the pram because you can't win. Those are my top 50 etiquette rules for board gamers, but what rules would you add to the list? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel to see more like it. I'm John Perkis. Thanks for watching.